Hello and welcome to HMG Spotlight. I'm Hunter Muller, founder and CEO of HMG Strategy. We're here with Ashu Varshney, the CIO and Senior Vice President of Cloud Operations at RingCentral. Ashu, welcome to the program.
Thank you, Hunter. Glad to be here.
Hey, you have a pretty broad purview, a great view of what's impacting the enterprise, not only in North America, around the world. What are the top IT trends that you're seeing now that you and your team are researching and prioritizing your research agenda against?
Yeah, so 2023 is a pretty interesting year, right? As we are coming out of the pandemic and looking at this very uncertain economic times, fueled mostly by change in interest rates, as well as stalling of the growth in economy. So three main trends that are kind of emerging out of what has transpired in last few years. Number one is like considering that we are getting off from being in the prosperous time to looking at us pending slowdown, the cost optimization. Everybody is looking at how to rationalize their spend and bring more efficiency into their IT operations. That's number one. That's like looming large on everybody. Everybody is looking at ways to do more with less. And number two is AI. AI has completely, it's kind of coming out of just being a hobby project in enterprise to becoming the real initiative that can move the needle for different line of businesses within the enterprise. So AI and the use of data, that's another trend that's will continue to be a focus in 2023. And the last one, as the pandemic has now be officially an endemic, but the behavior of the employees have changed forever, right? Most of the organizations, over 90% of the organizations, are allowing some kind of a hybrid activity from their workforce. They are letting employees work remotely. They are letting them come to the office or some combination thereof to provide the same equitable digital experience to your remote as well as your on-prem employees. That's going to be another trend that CIOs will have to battle through in 2023.
Excellent. Great insights. Going back to the first trend, and it's so timely and spot on, this whole notion of cost reduction. How do you keep an innovation transformational agenda alive in the enterprise when your CFO is saying, you know what, we need to cut costs, we need money back, and that project we're going to have to delay?
Oh, that's an excellent question, because if you take a peanut butter approach and you start reducing cost at everywhere, then yeah, once the economy turns for better, you will be on the losing side. You have to reduce the cost, bring the efficiency, but at the same time, you will have to continue to invest into the meaningful projects that will continue to move your story forward, continue to move the needle for you right now, and especially when the economy turn for better, right? So there are some low-hanging fruits which nobody can argue against. Like during the pandemic, all the different line of businesses were empowered to invest into their digital transformation. Every organization within a company invested in it, onboarded different tools. They made their best guess as to what they needed, how they are going to implement it, how many of the subscribers they will need to onboard in a year or two on those tools. And now that phase of the pandemic as well as economy is over, now it's time to look back at what has been purchased. I mean, there are places where things are completely oversubscribed. There, it's pretty easy without having to disinvest into technology. You can reduce your spend by just harvesting the unused licenses. It's not something that takes too much. At the same time, and also all the applications that have the redundant use within an enterprise. There are different line of businesses that buy the different tools that pretty much do the same thing. So consolidating it into one provider rather than having multiple tools for the similar kind of functions, those are the easy things you can do while trying to bring the efficiency, trying to reduce your labor as well as your software cost, while not disrupting your meaningful initiatives.
Great stuff, Ashu. Now, on to your next point, number two, this whole notion of data, analytics, and AI. Really, AI is taking off now, right?
Yes, it is.
Everyone needs an AI first strategy, right?
Absolutely. And there are, again, everybody needs it, but you have to be very careful. You have to look at your own DNA. You have to look at your core problems and look at where these kind of projects will bring the maximum value for you, right? Especially given your own organizational DNA, as well as the problems that your organizations are dealing with. So, to give you an example, there are some places where AI is, like, I think, going to impact everybody. If you were to look into help desk, whether it's a help desk for your employees that your IT organization provides, or the help desk for your customers that your customer care provides, those things are slam dunk. There, the use of automation and artificial intelligence is going to be ubiquitous. It's going to pretty much impact everybody the same way. But then when you go into, like, the ability to predict your churn, your ability to find your campaign effectiveness, that's where it's going to be much more tied to what your product line is like, what kind of an organization you are, and how do you go to market. So you have to be very careful how you pick up the right solutions for your given situations.
And then finally, it's always about culture. Culture matters. We know that in this digital era we live in. RingCentral did an amazing job keeping us all connected through the pandemic. And now we're in this hybrid world where people need to be connected around multiple devices, around multiple modes, right?
That's correct. And that has been, I mean, I'm glad that you brought up RingCentral while talking about hybrid, which is becoming kind of one of the leading trends for 2023. And RingCentral, at the very core, we were founded on the principle of enabling everybody to work from anywhere. That has been our DNA even before pandemic. That's what has been our story. And yeah, with as people are coming back to office, and as pandemic is getting over, the behavior of how employees are engaging with the organization and how they look at work, especially the newer generation of workers, have forever changed. I mean, this is something that we won't be able to turn back the clock to 2019. It's here. It's something. It's. I think most of the CIOs at this point, they are kind of past accepting the reality of hybrid workforce. Everybody has kind of accepted it as a fact of life. Now the focus in how to make it equitable for both remote and on-premise workers to have the similar experience. So when a person is working on a given application, or you collaborating in a fashion with their coworker, their experience has to stay the same. Whether I'm bringing up the tool from home or I'm working it from the office, its experience needs to stay the same. It needs to provide me the same security, same network performance, and at the same time, so that's given, right? The experience has to become equitable both for remote as well as on-premise workers. And at the same time, the other part that's going to become a challenge for CIOs is, like, as the world is changing, obviously the security is becoming more and more, security challenges are becoming more and more pronounced. The regulations around data transfer, data access are becoming more stricter every day. So what's the challenge is going to be for the CIOs is to how to bring the similar kind of a zeal into your security and privacy policies for your on-premise worker as well as for your remote workers.
Ashu, great interview. Great to see you today. Some brilliant thought leadership. 3 key trends to track in 2023. Looking forward to seeing you again soon at a summit or in person or here digitally at the HMG Spotlight. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Hunter. Thank you. Thanks for having me. And it was a great pleasure to be here with you.